Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 231 based on novel. So let's start. I'm willing to hand it to our race, Luo Feng said respectfully. Primal Chaos City leader nodded. Okay. Then go to Primal Chaos City now, as it's the place to donate valuables to our race. Your valuable will be assessed by the virtual universe system, and it'll give you the contribution points that match its value. Virtual universe system? Luo Feng was dazed. The virtual universe system is what determines the valuable, and it's the best, Primal Chaos City leader said. Besides, using the virtual universe is the fairest method because it's an artificial intelligence system without any personal bias or interests. All the great beings will be convinced. Luo Feng nodded. I understand. I'll go to Primal Chaos City right now. Go. That same day, Luo Feng arrived at the headquarters of the Virtual Universe Company and started his trip to Primal Chaos City by a spaceship. Inside the spaceship. It's so uncomfortable, the passengers in the spaceship whispered. The flow of time is in chaos. It's sickening. Luo Feng was sitting in a single room, and he laughed after hearing those complaints. He also felt sick when he went to Primal Chaos City for the first time. After all, the original universe was different from the primal universe, and the flow of time was in disorder in the universe portal connecting the two. Many talents who went with him fainted on the ground. It's been 100,000 years, Luo Feng exclaimed. He was still a child when he went to Primal Chaos City leader the first time, and he couldn't even pass the first level of the Heavenly Bridge, and the most valued talent was Bo Lan. Now, after adventuring in the Blood River World and Demon Note Mountain, after being the special envoy of the Ganwu section of the virtual universe, after thousands of years of training in the Outdomain battlefield and Ice Hell, after the meditation in the Ancestral God School, after venturing through 9 remoteness space, and after 50,000 years of vagabonding in the universe, he finally became undying. After 100,000 years, he no longer considered Shihua Knight his competitor. Even if it was a universe overlord. He battled with Qi Blood Palace leader, Beifeng Knight, and Tianyang Knight. It's been 100,000 years, there should have been many battles between talents. There are 2 battles every 10,000 years, Luo Feng thought. I haven't paid much attention. Mr. Luo Feng, we've arrived at Primal Chaos City, the captain of the spaceship said with veneration. Okay, said Luo Feng. His mind came back to reality. He glanced at the respectful captain, nodded, and walked out. Luo Feng walked across the hallway with the Undying Emperor captain, with Undying and Sector Lord crew members standing by his side. He stepped out of the spaceship before the other passengers got out. They all whispered, "Who is he? Even the captain is so respectful of him. Perhaps a universe knight. Incredible. See." Even the receptionist of the Primal Chaos City leader saluted him. Among the passengers discussing these matters in low voices, some of them were slaves of Primal Chaos City leader, and some of them were universe-level fighters, domain lords, and sector lords. Over half of them had come to Primal Chaos City in the first place, and to them, universe knights were already the supreme beings in the universe. Luo Feng arrived at the city leader palace. Mr. Luo Feng. Mr. Luo Feng. Many guards and servants recognized Luo Feng. They all knew that Luo Feng had killed Bark Mirror Emperor and that his palace was on the mountainside of Thunder Island, and he was qualified to attend the Supreme Council meeting. They all showed him great respect. Luo Feng had studied the procedures of donating valuables before coming. The location was at a side palace, and he needed to file an application for donating valuables. The side palace was closed generally, and it would open automatically after the application and the applicant arriving there. Luo Feng walked to the side palace. The door slowly opened. Luo Feng stepped inside. The door closed. This is the place where I donate the valuable. Luo Feng looked around the side palace. There was only a stone plate with a diameter of around 300 feet at the center. Luo Feng needed to put the valuable on the stone plate so the virtual universe could carefully assess the valuable. Luo Feng took out the godly blade. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, muttered Luo Feng. I only have one godly blade of Blade River Luo, which is almost useless to me. Aside from the blades, there's a compass, and it's almost impossible to attain. As for the idea of fighting against the Thorn Ring Alliance, I'm not powerful enough to do that yet. Luo Feng stepped forward and erased his life imprint on the godly blade. He put the blade on the stone plate. Cyan threads burst out of the stone plate and surrounded the godly blade. Suddenly, Luo Feng heard a voice. "Godly blade of Blade River Luo," spoke the voice, mild and gentle. "It is worth 12 true treasure points. Are you willing to give it to our race, Luo Feng?" Luo Feng smiled. "Of course." The stone plate cracked, splitting into 2 halves. The godly blade fell through the crack, and the stone plate quickly closed back up again. "This is the catalogue of valuables of the human race," the voice continued. Suddenly, a giant, grey catalogue showed up in the sky. It featured 4 types of valuables: true treasures, treasures, materials, and special resources. Luo Feng looked up at it, considering his options. "Special resources," Luo Feng said. The menu changed, and a plethora of names of resources appeared. Luo Feng was thrilled by this simple inventory, as it might list the core resources of the human race. Of course, Luo Feng was not even qualified to see many of them. For instance, true treasures were divided into ordinary true treasures, senior true treasures, top-tier true treasures, pinnacle true treasures, and supreme true treasures. Luo Feng could only see ordinary true treasures and senior true treasures. The others, Luo Feng was not qualified to view. Regardless, Luo Feng doubted there were any supreme true treasures in the human race even available for exchange. As for materials, there were lots of ingredients for making weapons and potions. There were all kinds of special resources, a category comprised of anything that didn't qualify within the other categories, even Undying Bug Clan Queen and other special life forms for soul transfer. The prices varied based on each item's rarity and level of importance. Luo Feng spent 3 hours reading the entire catalogue. "I have my boundless remote ocean to supply godly power, so I don't need the materials or resources," thought Luo Feng. "And I don't make weapons and potions." Luo Feng shook his head. "I'll just get another true treasure." There were 2 levels of contribution points. The race could bestow treasure points or true treasure points. The average ordinary treasure was worth half a treasure point or 1.5 true treasure points. As for some special treasures, sets of treasures, or even domain-type treasures, flying palace-type treasures, and soul-type treasures could rival ordinary true treasures, they were much more valuable. An ordinary true treasure was worth about 1 true treasure point. Generally, 1 true treasure point was worth 3,000 to 4,000 treasure points, and the exchange rate fluctuated within that range. As for now, 1 true treasure point was worth 3,200 treasure points. True treasures and senior true treasures. Luo Feng read the prices of the valuables. The prices of senior true treasure blades ranged from 8 true treasures points to 30 true treasure points. The prices of senior true treasure armor ranged from 12 true treasure points to 60 true treasure points. As for senior domain-type true treasure, Luo Feng could only see the cheapest one, which was worth 180 true treasure point. Luo Feng didn't even bother reading the others. Among the senior true treasures, close combat weapons were the cheapest, and true treasures for survival were relatively more expensive. Flying palace type, soul type, and domain-type treasures were the priciest ones. "I'll check the ordinary true treasures," Luo Feng said, shaking his head. "I have Star Map, Wu Wing, and Force Armor. I don't need those senior close combat weapons, spiritual force weapons, and armor." He started to read about the ordinary true treasures. They were cheaper, as expected. On average, they were 1/10 of the price of senior true treasures, and the quantity was much higher. He suspected they had been donated by universe masters who didn't need them anymore. "So cheap. They're so cheap," Luo Feng kept exclaiming. However, he was dazed when he noticed the flying palace type, soul type, and domain type treasures up for exchange. The prices of ordinary flying palace type true treasures ranged from 18 to 80 true treasures points. The prices of ordinary soul type true treasures ranged from 36 to 120 treasures points. The prices of ordinary domain-type true treasures ranged from 16 to 80 true treasure points. These ones, on the other hand, are expensive, Luo Feng muttered, realizing he couldn't purchase any of them with his measly 12 true treasure points. The cheapest ordinary domain-type true treasure is worth 16 true treasure points, and there are 13 of them at this price. Luo Feng read them carefully and quickly had his eyes on a domain-type true treasure named Nine Tiger River. Nine Tiger River. It was an ordinary domain-type true treasure, metal category, and it required 16 true treasure points. The fact that it was in the metal category was what attracted Luo Feng. He said, "Details of Nine Tiger River." A scene showed up in the sky, and a river with golden water flew in all directions. Inside the golden river lived 9 strange beasts with scales, tiger heads, and the bodies and tails of dragons. The 9 strange beasts looked indistinct and were frolicking in the river. Nine Tiger River is a domain-type true treasure, and it has mighty suppression and bounding power, he said in a mild voice. If enemies are relatively weak, it can annihilate them instantly. It's a domain-type true treasure of the metal category. Undying fighters who become undying under Gold Law are able to wield it. Together with the Gold Law domain and the True Treasure domain, the power can be multiplied. If someone becomes a Universe Knight under Space Law, he is also able to merge Space Law domain with the True Treasure domain because Space Law trumps Gold, Wood, Water, Fire, and Ground Law. Those who practice time-space are unfit for Nine Tiger River. Luo Feng nodded contentedly after reading all the information. He was already relatively satisfied with Golden Thread Aurora Mirror, which could effectively suppress senior Universe Knights on the original stars and was also able to affect Universe Overlords. That was, after all, how Luo Feng had so easily survived his encounter with Qi Blood Palace Master and Bei Feng Knight. However, he was not satisfied enough with it. The restraining power was not strong enough. When it came to those who were talented at escape, such as Qianyang Knight, Golden Thread Aurora Mirror would be rendered useless. Such fighters could simply use a true treasure to escape. If only I had a more powerful domain-type true treasure, Luo Feng thought. Even Qianyang Knight has better law comprehension than me, and even if he has a true treasure wing, he won't be able to get away. But I can escape danger with the domain-type true treasure. Nine Tiger River, Luo Feng whispered, concentrating on it. Unfortunately, it required 16 true treasure points. Doesn't matter, Luo Feng said, clenching his teeth. I need better valuables. He waved his hand, and a Rubik's Cube appeared on his palm. He put the cube on the stone plate. Cyan threads burst out of the plate and surrounded that cube, and the same voice said, a seal-type treasure, which is worth 22 true treasures. Luo Feng, are you willing to contribute this valuable to the race? Only 22 true treasure points. Luo shook his head. No. The cube flew back to Luo Feng. I'll try others, he thought. Luo Feng tried one treasure after another, testing to see how many contribution points he could get. He was surprised to discover that the purple clock was worth 89 treasure points, while a seal star was only worth 30. The green axe silver I had given him in the ice hell was only worth 3 treasure points. Seal-type treasures were all relatively more valuable, but the purple clock shocked Luo Feng. The swallowing claw is worth 1,200 treasure points. Luo Feng shook his head. But it's not enough. Next, I'll try these two. Luo Feng waved his hands, and Ancient Boat Galaxy appeared on his left hand while Golden Thread Aurora Mirror appeared on his right. Wine Master, whispered Luo Feng. My plan was to make the ancient boat galaxy you left in the Land of Valuables famous throughout the universe, but I might not be lucky enough to have that chance. I'll contribute this ancient boat galaxy to my race, and if no great beings exchange for it in the future, I'll get it back. If not, then perhaps it's not destined to be mine. As a matter of fact, Luo Feng loved ancient boat galaxy. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given it the name Galaxy in the first place. However, on the path to becoming a great being, he couldn't sacrifice his chance at an important true treasure just because of something he fancied. As for Golden Thread Aurora Mirror, it'll be useless if I have Nine Tiger River. Luo Feng put the Golden Thread Aurora Mirror on the stone plate. It was a domain-type treasure, which was worth 2.3 true treasure points. Ancient Boat Galaxy, a flying palace-type treasure, was worth 3.6 true treasure points. Ancient Boat Galaxy is more expensive than Golden Thread Aurora Mirror? Luo Feng chuckled. Is it because it was previously used by a supreme being? Without a doubt, it was. Although he had some treasures, and some were set treasures, they were all much cheaper. He might need to give away hundreds of them to gain just one ordinary true treasure. A flying palace-type top-tier treasure, worth 3.6 true treasures, said the mild-toned voice. Are you willing to contribute it to the race? Luo Feng nodded. Yes, I am, he said. Domain-type top-tier treasure, the voice continued, worth 2.3 true treasure points. Are you willing to contribute it to the race? Yes, said Luo Feng. 9 Tiger River. Price, 16 true treasure points. Do you wish to exchange for it, Luo Feng? Luo Feng didn't hesitate for even a second. I do. The plate cracked slowly open until it showed a portal leading to an abyss. Then a valuable flew out. It was a fist-sized golden sculpture of a strange beast with a tiger head and the body and tail of a dragon. The sculpture flew toward Luo Feng, who took it in his hand. 9 Tiger River is mine now. Luo Feng penetrated it with a trace of his godly power and sealed his life imprint in it. The sculpture quickly merged into his palm, and a picture showed up on his palm. Ancient Boat Galaxy, he said. He looked up at the screen and selected Flying Palace-type treasures. A Flying Palace-type treasure named Silver Dragon Phantom Boat had just appeared. It was available at the price of 4 true treasure points, obviously higher than what Luo Feng had been given for it. He now finally understood what was really meant by contribute. Great beings supplied valuables at a lower price, and the race then sold them to other great beings at their true value. The race was thus able to acquire many valuables, which were used to cultivate the weaker members. Luo Feng had contributed Ancient Boat Galaxy, Golden Thread Aurora Mirror, and Blade River Luo to the human race. In exchange, he had been given 17.9 true treasure points. After spending 16 true treasure points on 9 Tiger River, he now had 1.9 left. He decided not to continue to exchange for other valuables. After all, other valuables were not worthwhile. It was more important for great beings to have quality true valuables than it was to have more valuables. A single star tower was much more precious than tens of thousands of true treasures. After leaving Primal Chaos City, he went to his god kingdom. In the sky above the boundless remote ocean, the golden horned beast stood with his wings opened. The golden horned beast howled and burned his godly power, powering the strange, golden beast picture on his chest. A churning river appeared with a diameter of 20 million miles with the golden horned beast at the center. 9 eerie beasts could be seen swimming in the golden river. Law Domain, Sand the golden horned beast, standing at the center of the river. 9 Tiger River Domain. Merge. The power was multiplied, and the almighty golden river churned up into the sky. This domain is much stronger than that of Golden Thread Aurora Mirror, Luo Feng said. He nodded. If I drove the Golden Thread Aurora domain with my burning godly power before, I could annihilate an elementary universe knight. However, I can use the same amount of time to annihilate a secondary one with this 9 Tiger River. Power. Gather. All the energies in the Golden River rushed toward those strange beasts, strengthening them. It could severely injure a secondary universe knight, and it would be able to kill one after several attacks. Luo Feng sensed the power and nodded. Even senior universe knights would be trapped by this, and it could even slow down universe overlords. The reason the Craftsman star was well known was the great being living on the star, a universe master named Craftsman. He was a powerful universe master who was a mountain special life form. He had been born to craft weapons and had loved making them even back when he was weak. Throughout the years, he had kept making breakthroughs, devoting an eternity to making weapons until he was considered the best weapon maker in the universe. Zhuoshan Ku's ability to make true treasures was obscure, and this identity made him stand out among all the great beings in the universe. Craftsman was able to make top-tier true treasures. There were 2 other great beings who could make top-tier true treasures, and the reason for Craftsman's superiority over those 2 was the Craftsman star. The Craftsman star itself was a top-tier, Flying palace type true treasure. Craftsman didn't belong to any power. The ancestral god school had tried to appeal to him, as well as many other superpowers in the universe, but to date, he hadn't joined any power yet. For one thing, he was mighty, possessing many true treasures. Hence, it was nearly impossible to kill him. For another, he was proficient in crafting true treasures. This placed him at a level close to many supreme beings. As a result, nobody dared to attack him. A maniac, thought Luo Feng. Only a maniac can go this far on this path. He gazed at Craftsman's star in the distance. He consumed so much material just to turn a star into a flying palace-type top-tier true treasure. Luo Feng flew toward that star, sometimes teleporting himself. The countless space whirlpools around Craftsman's star were natural wormholes. There were 98,200 in total, and only a portion of them led to safe areas. Others led to extremely dangerous places. A tablet, said Luo Feng. As he got closer, he saw floating tablets in front of 2/3 of the whirlpools. One tablet after another. Most of them were labeled dangerous. Some read forbidden, and there were 2 with off-limits written in bloody script. Those whirlpools without tablets might lead to safe districts, thought Luo Feng. As for dangerous, forbidden and off-limits. Luo Feng looked at one of the 2 tablets with off-limits written on it. The power emanating from the words intimidated Luo Feng. Only universe masters could write such things. Rumor has it that there are 98,200 natural wormholes around Craftsman's star, and 2 of them lead to places that are supposed to be off-limit. Thought Luo Feng. Almost everyone who has gone in there has died. However, according to the information in the Hong Alliance, there are great beings who have survived the whirlpools. But they refuse to talk about the off-limits places. In time, Luo Feng passed by all the wormholes and arrived in the sky above Craftsman's star. The great universe master craftsman is generous and friendly, and he isn't as aloof as most universe masters. He favors special life forms. So many special life forms in Yin Fa secret region moved to Craftsman's star and live a peaceful life on the star. Luo Feng Dove. Craftsman's star. A peaceful place with no killings. Many great beings come here for true treasures, and many come here to learn how to make true treasures. Luo Feng flew through the clouds and landed. He took a step, moving 6 million miles forward. He had gathered information about the star before he came. The residents on Craftsman's star were special life forms. Some of them were undying, and some of them were universe knights. Though there were numerous powerful beings, the star remained peaceful. I can sense it. The black metal is calling me. Luo Feng moved forward, and the original earthling body in his world ring could sense the black metal, just as when he had obtained the second black metal. Not even the world ring was able to cut off the attraction. That direction. Luo Feng raced toward it. As he traveled, Luo Feng witnessed many special life forms having fun, some of whom were a rare sight in other areas of the universe. Sector lords, undying fighters. Luo Feng even saw a universe knight-level special life form. A streak of green light flew at Luo Feng. It was an energy body with a pretty face. Where did you come from, outsider? The being demanded. Are you here to learn how to make true treasures from Craftsman Master? Luo Feng smiled. I do, but I heard that the standards are pretty high. The green light flew beside Luo Feng. They are. There are always great beings coming here who want to be a student of Craftsman Master. Many have failed. Craftsman Master has 182 disciples in total. Luo Feng smiled, nodded, and moved forward using teleportation. The green light easily followed Luo Feng. Have you ever been to Craftsman Star? The green light asked. Do you know where the Craftsman Mountain is? Ha ha. Luo Feng smiled without giving anything away. After all, he was being drawn by the 4th black metal, and he was certain that the black metal was in that direction. Luo Feng walked for half an hour before arriving at Craftsman Mountain, during which he continued talking with the green light. Luo Feng learned a great deal during the half-hour conversation, including that the green light was called Bo Ni Shaw and had moved to Craftsman Star with her race a long time ago. According to Bo Ni Shaw, she knew almost everything about the star, and she saw great beings coming here for true treasures all the time. That's Craftsman Mountain, Bo Ni Shaw said, pointing in the distance at a towering mountain piercing the clouds. Craftsman Master lives on the mountain, and his disciples come down to gather material often. See, there are many buildings on the mountain. Most were built by great beings of other races. After all, Craftsman Master rarely shows himself, as they're not qualified to be greeted by him. They can only wait for the moment when Craftsman Master comes out and tests his disciples. That's when they go and ask for true treasures. With every word, Bo Ni Shaw grew more excited. Luo Feng nodded. He concentrated on the Craftsman Mountain, and he could feel a strong attraction even with the world ring in the middle. The original earthling body could feel every cell of his body exhilarated by the fourth black metal in that Craftsman Mountain. He put the fourth black metal in Craftsman Mountain? That's where Craftsman Master lives. Luo Feng frowned. I can't get a black metal from a universe master no matter how strong I am. Luo Feng considered. Bo Ni Shaw flew around Luo Feng and said, Aren't you here to learn how to make true treasures from Craftsman Master? Look, there are some universe knights groveling over there. Just go join them. If you're sincere enough and have the potential to create true treasures, Craftsman Master will admit you as his disciple. The towering Craftsman Mountain shot up through the misty clouds. At the foot of the mountain, several hundred great beings of different races knelt. At first glance, Luo Feng could recognize a third of them as universe knights. The rest were undying great beings. Close to 200 universe knights kneeling, Luo Feng said to himself. The ability to create true treasures must be extremely desirable. Hey, why aren't you going? Bo Ni Shaw, who was beside Luo Feng, asked out of curiosity. I do desire to learn. Luo Feng smiled and lowered his eyes to look at Bo Ni Shaw. I certainly do want to learn the legendary skill of the Craftsman Master. However, I am not confident. Therefore, I'm here more for satisfying my curiosity, to take a look. They are all here to try their luck, said Bo Ni Shaw. Out of these 500 or more candidates, it will be a generous intake if 2 or 3 are accepted as disciples. She pointed to the crowd of great beings of different races on their knees. These great beings, either in the life form of energy, flesh and blood, or rock, were all down on their knees. All waiting wordlessly. How long have they been kneeling? Luo Feng asked. Waiting till the Craftsman Master appears, Bo Ni Shaw said lightly. Kneeling for thousands of years or even tens of thousands of years is commonplace. But the longest wait has yet to exceed 100 centuries. If one does not even have the perseverance to kneel for a long period of time, one is not worthy to learn the skill of making true treasures. Luo Feng nodded. I can't accompany you any further, said Bo Ni Shaw. I'm heading off to visit my friend. She danced around Luo Feng before flying off into a deep blue building. Luo Feng looked up at the towering Craftsman Mountain as he made his way toward it. So many different races, he said. He looked at the many buildings of different styles located quite a distance away. These numerous ancient buildings were abodes that great beings had constructed while here to seek an audience with Craftsman Master. The majority were vacated, but a sizable number of them were still occupied by great beings. They might be great beings from other races who are here to seek treasures, Luo Feng said to himself. The fourth black metal board can be found on Craftsman Mountain. Craftsman Master is on that mountain. Given his power, how am I going to obtain the fourth black metal board? Even if I did manage to steal it, Craftsman Master controls the space and time here. He could catch me easily. He gazed up at the mountain. How am I going to obtain it? While thinking, Luo Feng walked on, not realizing that he had already reached the foot of the mountain. Stop. My friend, stop. A deep and melodious voice called out. Luo Feng turned to look. Amid the crowd of over 500 universe knights and undying great beings, a handful looked over. Among them, there was a being with 4 hooves and a human body over 1,000 feet tall. He was watching Luo Feng with 3 golden eyes, and in a melodious voice, he said, My friend, Craftsman Mountain is where Craftsman Master and his disciples reside. Any other great beings without prior permission from Craftsman Master will not be able to enter the region. Entering without consent would be showing disrespect to master. Oh, said Luo Feng with a smile. Thank you. I was too engrossed in my thoughts. Are you also here for the purpose of asking Craftsman Master to take you in as his disciple? The being shifted its gaze downwards to look at Luo Feng. Although he was kneeling, he was still taller than Luo Feng. Just curious, Luo Feng said. If there is hope for me to become a disciple, I will work hard. At the same time, Luo Feng found himself wondering, what kind of life form does the knight belong to? Based on what he could recall, there was not a single race with a description that matched. That's right, GoldenEye Knight said with a laugh. As long as there is hope, we should never give up. I am already able to make ordinary treasures, and before coming here, I was filled with confidence. However, upon arriving, I realized that when compared with the extraordinary geniuses from the many races of the universe, where everyone is so adept at making weapons, I am inadequate. You see that being of the demon race over there? He may only be undying, but at his level, he is already capable of making ordinary treasures. His chances of being chosen to be Craftsman Master's disciple is far higher than mine. Luo Feng was dumbfounded as he looked over. Also kneeling was a beast that resembled a golden-haired ape. It had a weaker aura, an aura that was only at the undying level. Undying, yet able to make ordinary treasures? Luo Feng blinked in disbelief. Geniuses. They really are an omnipresent existence. Luo Feng sighed to himself. GoldenEye Knight sighed too, then said, in the ancestral god secret region, I am an honorable weapon master, but when I arrived here, I realized how lacking my skills were. Our unique life forms may seem very capable, but when it comes to making weapons, we are not in an advantageous position. You see, these undying beings, at their level, are already being brought by the great beings of their races to this Yin Fa secret region, the Craftsman Star. If they hadn't possessed a certain level of skills, would they dare come here? These few hundreds of undying beings. I suppose the majority are already able to make pseudo-treasures. Pseudo-treasures? Luo Feng was baffled. What level would a pseudo-treasure be at? It seemed there were some terms known only among weapon masters, or at least unknown to someone like Luo Feng. That's all right, I'm not here to try my luck at being a disciple, Luo Feng continued. Then he muttered under his breath, if I were to do so, I would only embarrass myself. You should give it a shot, GoldenEye Knight laughed. Craftsman Master has very stringent requirements when it comes to selecting disciples. Although talent matters, there are many other factors also taken into consideration. So long as you possess some skill in making weapons and you can make a pseudo-treasure, who knows? You might be lucky enough to become a disciple of Craftsman Master. Take me, for instance. I have been persistent all this while. I am just curious, Luo Feng repeated. Just curious, that's all. Luo Feng immediately left the area packed with over 500 geniuses skilled in making weapons, all sincerely hoping to become disciples of Craftsman Master. Reaching the foot of the mountain, he built himself a courtyard house. Making weapons? He thought. As if. I cannot even handle a weapon that is of a slightly higher caliber, much less a pseudo-treasure. During the remodeling of the Yunmo planet ship, when I needed to imprint engravings, I had to engage the help of internal personnel from the virtual universe company. Luo Feng shook his head in resignation. He was a complete ignoramus when it came to weapons. He had zero knowledge. Compared to the numerous top-notch weapons geniuses gathered here from all over the vast universe, he could not help feeling ashamed. Standing before the entrance of his courtyard, Luo Feng looked at over 500 kneeling figures of various races, then turned up to look at the towering Craftsman Mountain. My initial plan was to ask Craftsman Master to take me in as his disciple, he muttered. After entering Craftsman Mountain, I could take my time to craft a plan to obtain the black metal board. But now it seems that, other than Craftsman Master and his disciples, no one is able to enter the mountain. And becoming his disciple is out of the question. What should I do? How am I going to obtain the black metal board? Luo Feng was frustrated. But even without a feasible plan, he was not anxious. He waited patiently at the foot of the Craftsman Mountain, observing the activities that took place around the area fastidiously, seeking the perfect opportunity. In the blink of an eye, half a year had passed. During that time, Luo Feng made acquaintances with the great beings of other races who stayed in the buildings around him. The great beings of other races were all universe knights, and there were quite a few universe overlords, too. Those who had stayed to wait all sought true treasures from the great craftsman master. A four-armed giant known as Chrysalis Knight, presently sitting cross-legged beside Luo Feng, sighed and lamented, "I am the leader of a race, so finding a variety of valuables for the race is my responsibility. Although I joined the 9-Territory Alliance, those of highest standing were universe masters. I am only a universe overlord, so the resources I have were far inferior. 4 great beings of races with universe masters, 3 top-tier series of treasures can be exchanged for an ordinary true treasure. For me, I will need 4 top-tier series of treasures." Chrysalis Knight shook his head. "And this is only one of the many examples of unfair treatment. I am ever at a loss." Luo Feng nodded in sympathy as he listened. "Things are different for the pinnacle races," the four-armed giant said, shaking his head again. "The 6 pinnacle races, with their overwhelming power, countless valuables, and great beings, enjoy a blessed life. When they exchange valuables internally, no one experiences unfair treatment. But for races like mine, where I am the sole universe overlord. Humph. Remote ocean Luo Feng, should there come a day that I am killed, please help me. Please help my silk and rock race to live on and pass on its legacy." Luo Feng replied, "Chrysalis Knight, don't talk like that. Should death befall you, the 9-Territory Alliance will resurrect you. But if you really need my help, I will reach out to you." Chrysalis Knight was one of the great beings here whom Luo Feng had come to befriend, and he was one of the few Luo Feng got along with fairly well. He was the honorable leader of the Silken Rock race, and if he did fall, the entire Silken Rock race faced the risk of dying out. Chrysalis Knight needed to take care of his race. As such, he was unwilling to exchange his treasures with the 9-Territory Alliance for true treasures. He would only stand to lose. "I can only approach Craftsman Master with my plea for help," said Chrysalis Knight. Craftsman Master, with various materials obtained from treasures, could make a true treasure. This would be much better than exchanging treasures within the race. Chrysalis Knight sighed. "This way, I would still be able to retain a fair bit of resources for my race. With the race developing, I can also grow stronger. Only then will our future generations continue to grow." Luo Feng was full of admiration. His capability was considered strong, yet he did not have any such responsibilities. Humans, as a whole, were very much stronger and more dominating. Although there was little difference between him and Chrysalis Knight. Chrysalis Knight had to shoulder the rise and fall of his entire race. Shi Luo Duo, who had the capability of a universe overlord, held a fate somewhat similar to that of Chrysalis Knight, thought Luo Feng. While Shi Luo Duo was with them, the Golden Horned race was able to stand as an independent race in the universe. Yet the moment Shi Luo Duo was killed, the Golden Horned race could only rely on stronger great beings for survival and became a vassal race. As Luo Feng and Chrysalis Knight were chatting, a voice suddenly exclaimed, "Look! Those are Craftsman Master's disciples." "It's Craftsman Master's disciples," someone else shouted. Luo Feng and Chrysalis Knight stood up at the same time. From the palaces and buildings around them, knights of various races stepped out. They were all there seeking true treasures. The number of figures emerging, at one glance, numbered several thousand. These great beings all yearned for the same thing, to engage Craftsman Master's help in making true treasures. Such true treasures would be comparable to those obtained through trading within alliances but at a much lower price. Thousands of knights, some burly and others petite, some hairy and others metal-plated, all flocked toward the figures approaching the ground. The handful of figures landed. "Dear brothers," said a great being from the 500-plus great beings kneeling on the ground, speaking in a respectful demeanor. "May I ask, when will Craftsman Master meet us?" "What's the rush?" one of Craftsman Master's disciples answered. "Master has gone visiting. He may not return for thousands or tens of thousands of years. Enjoy the wait." Following his response, the disciples rapidly transformed into rays of light and made a speedy departure. "Visiting?" Luo Feng said, squinting into the distance. This video will end here.